on, guys, and welcome back to the Assembled Podcast, the bi-weekly podcast where we talk all things Marvel, DC, and superheroes. And today we're talking about Marvel's 2025 slate, which is packed, y'all. Absolutely packed. And we have a special guest joining us today, Ren Geekness. We will be talking and breaking down every single title coming up in 2025. But let's go around the horn. How's everybody doing? Starting with Mike. What's up, man? How are you? How was your Thanksgiving, man? And how you doing?
I'm doing great. It was a great holiday. Nice to have some time off. I've been watching and reading a lot, so still reading a lot of DC. I binged watched like the last 2 seasons of The Dragon Prince. My Hero Academia's epilogue leaked, and so we saw how that book officially ends, and it's controversial. So we'll see how the anime tackles that in 2 years. But yeah, I'm doing great, man.
I'm gonna need to get on that.
Me too. I did not know about this.
Right.
We'll talk later. I'm not going to spoil the Watchers and Cliff. I think it's great. It's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Wait, can we just pause? You're like, what's for the Watchers and Cliff? Like, I'm a whole separate category.
Well, you're on the show, my guy. You're not watching the show.
So we got Cliff coming back. What's going on, man? How was your
No, I'm
Thanksgiving,
good.
brother?
I'm chilling. Pretty good. Pretty laid back. You know, I'm doing good. You know, been listening to a lot of music recently. I'm doing better. You know, I'm not Shamik Moore right now, so like life is great, life is good, life is wonderful. You know
Not
what?
to
No,
Shamik Moore right now. Brother's struggling.
struggling. And when but yeah, I'm doing good. Bumping a lot of Alessia Cara for like the past like month. Like her music
Taste.
is crazy good. Like I can't wait for her new album to drop on Valentine's Day and all that. But yeah, watching a lot of good movies as always. You know, at least every day and whatnot. So yeah, I'm doing good. I'm chilling.
Mustard.
Hey, thank you for putting me on. I didn't even know she had a new album coming out. Okay.
Bruh, we could have a whole deep dive about her music. Like I am obsessed at this point. Like I said, I've been listening to a month and I'm just like, where have I been for the past like 10 years, essentially?
I like that album she had with Here on it. That was, oh man, I played that over and over and over.
Her freshman album. Mhm.
Yep, so
Yep.
good. And then we've got a special guest of the channel and the inspiration for this stream because you did a breakdown video last week. Thanks for joining us, Ren. How are you, man?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Pleasure to be here with you, with Mike, meeting Cliff for the first time. I'm excited to talk Marvel. That's always what I want to talk about. So any excuse I get to do it, I'm there.
Absolutely, man. Hey, same here, man. Any excuse to talk Marvel? I'm pulling up. We've got Gold Searcher and Eric Patterson in the comments. We'll address Gold Searcher's comment a little bit later. But what's going on, guys? Thanks for joining us. And we will get started, gentlemen, with our very first project, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which drops January 29th, 2025. Now, listen, I'm going to start this one off. I'm a Spider-Man diehard. Got the poster back there this way. Got the chair. Man, listen, Spider-Man, absolute favorite hero. You tell me you're doing an animated series where Spider-Man, we get more traditional Spider-Man's lore, which is something the MCU has been missing anyway. I'm here for it. I am the animation style I got to see some more of because at first when I saw a little leak, it didn't look as good, but I don't know. When I saw the actual HD part of that trailer, that little Marvel sizzle reel, it looked good to me. So honestly, I am a 1 to 5 out of 5. I am a 5 out of 5. I love Spider-Man, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to the man with the Spider-Man hoodie. Rent, where are you at, man? Out of 5.
So I've been excited for the show, if for many reasons, but mostly for the reason that Spider-Man in animation was my introduction to Spider-Man. I grew up on the 90s animated series, still the best animated series of Spider-Man, if you ask me, before I even got into the comics. So anytime you have a Spider-Man animated show coming out, I'm going to be excited. If you have anything MCU coming out, I'm going to be interested. Then they dropped that sizzle, and I saw a bit of the animation, and in my best Dave Chappelle, I went, oh no. So I am not as excited as I wanted to be, not as excited as I have been before for this show, but I still will go at 2.5 out of 5 because I'm not going to be not interested because it's MCU, like I said. but right now I need to be brought back into that hype.
Is it the animation style only, or is it also some of the voice casting? Or
No. It's just I mean, Coleman Domingo as Norman Osborn. Hell yeah, give me that. It's just the animation.
That's fair, man. I want to see some more of it as well. Mike, where you sitting, man? Out of 5?
Yeah, I'm pretty close to Ren. I think I'm at like a 3, simply because, like he was saying earlier, Spider-Man in animation is peak superhero, if we're being honest. We have the 90s, we have Spectacular Spider-Man, we have Spider-Verse, right? It's just stiff competition in that field. And I do like you were saying, Leo, I do enjoy the fact that we are getting more like classic Spider-Man characters, which is something we haven't seen in a very long time, like Norman Osborn. That's really cool. I just I need to see more. I need to see that first episode. Nothing about the art style, the trailer has really like stuck out to me just yet. But I'll tell you one thing, like I'm way more excited for this than What If, so they got me there. Like Marvel animation can either give me X-Men or it can give me What If. And so I'm hoping this skews more towards X-Men.
That's such a bar too, man.
Yeah, it's like it could go either way. This could end up being the greatest thing ever. I don't know. I'm gonna give it that benefit of the doubt, but as of right now, I'm like middling on it, 2.5, 3 stars.
And I wonder, well, I guess I know a little bit why, but couldn't we have just gone the traditional 2D animation route? I keep saying it over and over and over. I said about X-Men 97, and that turned out to be phenomenal with a lot of incorporation of the 2D animation elements, but why could we just go back traditional 2D? But Cliff, let us know, man, how you feeling about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and where you got it from 1 to 5.
I'm giving it a generous like 3 out of 5, just because one, I have not kept up with anything about this show. Like I know it's a thing. Like I didn't know Coleman Domingo was voicing Norman Osborn until Ren just said it. So like that has me very interested in seeing how
the waves make sense now, y'all. Let's go.
It makes so much sense now. It's like, oh, he got the wave grease and the cap. Okay, I see this type of moment. Okay, I got it. But yeah, I'm curious to see. One of the aspects of the MCU I've always wanted to see was Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man at least get a full origin. Just to see like what does that look like. Now, I am curious since this is like a multiverse or another timeline type of situation. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go and how this is going to work. Yeah, really, I just want a good show from it. As y'all mentioned, Spider-Man is elite when it comes to animation. So the bar is set pretty high. Even though I gave this, like, in terms of my anticipation, a 3 out of 5, I'm just like, y'all got big shoes to fill. So yeah, good luck to y'all. I will be there for the first episode. Will I be there after? I'll decide after the credits roll, after this first episode, pretty much.
It's interesting, but like what you just said, right? We were excited to see, like when this was initially pitched, it was like, this is Tom Holland's origin, like year 1 Spider-Man. And now it's not. So on one hand, that gives them more freedom to do a lot more like crazy things that won't break MCU canon. But that initial idea of, oh, we finally get the origin story for this Spider-Man is gone. So it can go either way to me, where they have that freedom, they can do whatever they want, and they make something really awesome. Or we're just going to be in the back of our heads like, I kind of wish this was just Tom Holland. So it's like 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, and when they did first announce it, like you were saying, I was very excited for more Tom Holland Spider-Man, but we'll see where this one takes it. At least we get more Spidey stuff and more Doc Ock, more Green Goblin. Like we get to revisit those villains in a different perspective. Love bringing in Coleman Domingo. You put him in anything, I'm gonna watch. So I'm just very excited to explore that little corner of the Spider-Man universe in the MCU. But let's move on to our next one here, Captain America: Brave New World. Directed by Julius Ona and starring Anthony Mackie as Captain America, Giancarlo Esposito, Rosa Salazar, Tim Blake Nelson, Danny Ramirez, and more. Guys, this one, I think, kind of has most of the fan base split, I would say, because we even had a comment coming in hot here from Gold Searcher at the beginning of the stream saying that all of these could be decent, good, great, and fine success. The only one he's worried about is Cat 4. And there's been some rumblings about test screenings not going well. Who knows what's real and what's not when it comes to those things. Some things are quite doctored up. But from the trailers alone and from what I've seen personally, I'm looking forward to it. I'm also a little cautiously optimistic, but let's go to Ren first this time. How we feeling, man? What you think about Captain America, Brave New World, and how much are you anticipating it from 1 to 5?
I am very excited for this film. It's a Captain America film. I love all 3 of the Captain America films we've gotten so far in the MCU. They're bringing in Red Hulk, played by Harrison Ford, no less. It's got this kind of gritty, grounded, despite the presence of a Hulk, Winter Soldier sort of vibe to it. And again, from the trailers, I am into everything I've seen. We've heard all the hoopla about test screenings not going well, but I've seen many movies where I've seen them, hated them, and then I hear about how the test screenings went extremely well. So who knows? I don't let that influence me. I'm going 4 out of 5 for this one. I am very excited. If anything, the director is the thing that maybe makes me hesitate a little bit, because he's the director of Cloverfield Paradox. Not a good movie. So yeah.
Clint's reaction to that.
I wonder if
Ren, you are so real for that. I love that. Thank you. I love you for saying that.
Yeah, but I'm still a 4 out of 5. I can't go full 5 because we'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, I 100% understand that little bit of we'll see, because there's just that little hesitancy of like rumors of reshoots happening again. It's like, all right, well, what's going on here? But Red Hulk looks awesome. Yeah. Love the look, man. Like when he debuted in that trailer, I was like, yo, like that looks legit. Like the Red Hulk looks freaking awesome. And also just love, like you were saying, the Captain America, like Winter Soldier vibes of this. It feels like a very focused production in the sense that it knows its tone and knows what it wants to be. We're not going to get the goofy, usual Marvel humor here. We're going to go back to that Winter Soldier vibe of espionage and secret agent style. I love where it's going with the tone. Mike, how we feeling, man? 1 to 5, and what you think about Captain America, Brave New World?
Yeah, again, I'm kind of in a similar boat as you guys, where it's like, this has the potential to be really awesome. Like Ren said, the Captain America trilogy is probably the best set of films in the entire franchise, right? But the director is concerning, even though talk around this movie is a little bit concerning, like the plot of it being Sam having to earn the mantle of Captain America. I'm just sitting here like, what was the point of that 6-episode show we just watched where he literally earns the mantle of Captain America? So I'm hoping it's not redundant. Harrison Ford taking on the role of Thunderbolt Ross and becoming Red Hulk. That's really interesting. We're running into that territory of why wasn't this a Hulk movie or a team up movie where it's like Betty Ross is supposed to be in this and everything. And it's like, we're doing a lot of Hulk centric stuff and we're throwing Sam in the middle of it. So it has the potential, because the MCU does this a lot where they like just pull different things from comics all the time and just like mash them together and make something really cool and interesting with it. So it's got the potential to be really good, but I am a little nervous. So I think I'm at a 3. Like for it to be a Captain America movie, this should be like a 4 or a 5 for me, but I'm at a 3 right now. The last trailer did help though. It looked really good. So I'm hoping we kind of lean more into that Winter Soldier vibe as opposed to Hulk movie starring Captain America, which is kind of what it felt like at first.
Yeah, you've also got Leader in there as well. I mean, it's just so much Hulk centric, and I had that worry as well before this last trailer. This last trailer just to me makes it feel like it's all gonna synergize very well, and like there actually seems to be a lot of focus on Captain America in this. But then there's also part of me that's like, man, is Bruce Banner about to show up in this thing? But Cliff,
that's the thing. I feel like last trailer he's going to, right? Like the last trailer, they're going to tease Hulk. He has to be in this movie some point.
Listen,
I've been a Hulk fan my whole life. He's my favorite superhero. Please let him show up.
It'd be weird if he doesn't. Like at this point, it'd be weird. It'd be really strange if he doesn't. Like we have the Leader finally show up. We have Betty. We have Red Hulk, and then Bruce doesn't show up at all.
I mean, it's been even before they started shooting this. The rumors were that She-Hulk was going to be in the film too. So
yeah.
At
Remember at one point Jessica Jones was going to show up, and there's been quite a few little cameos touted, but yeah, I think he has to show up, don't he?
I hate to be the guy to try and rewrite a movie before it comes out, but we could just make this new Avengers and just have him assemble a new team. That could have been cool.
Which the rumors say that's how the movie ends. It's with him starting to assemble a new team.
Well,
it's just him on one side, Carol on the other end. Oh, we're building up to Civil War 2. What's going on? What's going on, Lo? I was like, Marcellus Durden. What's going on, bro? How are you? Proud co-host of the Geekly Goods Roundup in the house. Good to see you, brother.
Goat.
Says stoked to see the new Falcon and seeing Sam really stand on his own here, even more so than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, for sure. But some of the things, like I agree with what Mike was saying. It does feel like we're retreading some ground. And I don't think we need to go the whole route of Sam has to earn this, but then there are some interesting conflicts going on between him and Harrison Ford and how they do want to handle the situation of Captain America, and that I really, really like. Cliff, where are you sitting at, man?
I am sitting at a strong 3. A 3 and a possible for all my Spades fans. That's an inside joke. But no, I'm curious to see where this goes because, like Ren and everyone else has said, the Captain America portion of the MCU has been, I'd say, stellar. Especially since Winter Soldier and Civil War, and then seeing how Steve progresses and all that stuff, especially in Infinity War and Endgame and his conflict with Tony. it's just top tier storytelling, I think. With Sam, I am very nervous for him because again, we're kind of retreading. We're already retreading a story that we've seen multiple times. We've seen him earn the shield. And here it seems like we're once again dealing with Sam having to deal with some form of the American government. First, Falcon Winter Soldier, we had, what was his name? U.S. Soldier, which we'll get to him eventually in another project. But then here, we're dealing with Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross as president. And it seems like he wants Sam to, quote unquote, be his like figurehead for whatever he's trying to push, whatever this is, And so I'm really curious to see like how are we going to deal with this, especially in relation to Isaiah Bradley, who seems to still be under the control of whatever Winter Soldier-esque words or that can make him attack the president. So I'm very curious to see like what is all this leading to, and more importantly, like what are the ramifications of this type of story? How does this affect the MCU, especially with Sam, but also as a whole? Oh, and we also get to see more of Eternals finally. After how many years? Like
my beloved Eternals.
I know 2 people on here probably are really big fans. There's 2 others who we like a lot, some of the characters, but I'm just happy that Eternals is finally getting some kind of recognition. Like, hey, a giant hand is in the middle of the ocean. Y'all can't just leave that alone, essentially. So I'm curious to see where this goes.
And there's been movies and movies and movies and movies before we readdress that. I'm like, now how did this happen? And we just have not addressed this for years in our timeline. Like,
if I'm correct in my theory, or it all makes sense in Secret Wars, these are all different multiverses that we've been seeing in phases 4 and 5.
I'm gonna take a second here and pause the show and let Ren explain this theory he just threw at us.
Honestly, I want to hear the theory, Ren. What's the theory?
So I just think, look, I don't know what movies are set in the same universe as each other, but I think we have been seeing in phases 4 and 5 so far several different multiverses. So, for example, let's say She-Hulk and Cap 4, they're set in the same universe, but I don't know, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Eternals, and Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness is not a good example because he goes into several universes in that one film alone. And Ms. Marvel, they're set in another universe, and then pick 2 other shows or 2 other movies, they have their own universe. And that's why not all movies and shows have addressed the giant hand and head, for that matter, coming out of the ocean.
See, Ren, I can see that, Ren, but I feel like that's giving too much credit to Marvel Studios.
Pay me, Kevin Feige.
Like
I'm giving you the
best
best
idea.
idea.
Way too much credit to be like, oh, everything is separate. Nah, we made this movie. We're gonna get back to it 5 years from now.
That's probably how it's gonna turn out.
I
just
is.
like.
I mean, it'll finally answer the question of how we never followed up on those 10 rings, even though that was like an Avengers level concern where we brought Captain Marvel with the Hulk, and we just
I
let
don't
it
know.
go.
Yeah.
Well, we got 10 rings. We got a celestial hand in the ocean.
We
We
got a
the
giant
Marvel
celestial
doing
showing
what they're
up
doing.
over the
Giant
British
celestials
part
showing
here in
up.
the UK.
Yep.
Like we got the scrolls just somewhere around, both in the Marvels and in Secret Wars. Like
So
it's a
many.
lot that's happened.
Yeah. But that's a convincing theory because Fantastic Four is confirmed to be
Another
set in its
universe.
own
Yeah.
universe. So it could very well be like that is the first kind of pull of the curtain of like, oh, okay. Behind all this the whole time, there are all separate universes. And now when Secret Wars comes along, that's how they all get together. I'm convinced. I'm convinced.
And Doctor
I
Doom's
think
been his own machinations has been in, Tony Stark been doing whatever he's been doing.
No, it's probably Billy accidentally again.
Oh man.
Oh, they looking for his brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Agatha looking for his brother, just messing up every timeline.
When in doubt, it's a Maximoff having mental health issues that's causing every issue in this franchise.
It's like that plus Franklin Richards somehow got involved, and now all of a sudden they've
I wish my
rewritten all the
mental health
universes
issues were
together.
that cool.
Like, I can cause a civil war? What? Okay. Why not? People are fighting over me? Okay.
All right, gentlemen, let's go to the next one here with Daredevil Born Again coming out in March. And listen, I'm looking at Fantastic Four. I'm looking at this. I'm like, these are the two that I'm just like, wow, like I'm over the moon. Started out as a kind of separate project from the original Daredevil series, and it's now directly following the series, bringing back Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio in their iconic roles, continuing the story, which is how it should have went. I'm glad this is kind of where Marvel hit the brakes and said, okay, let's focus. Let's get back to some normality here around here with these movies and shows, because I think it would have been a terrible mistake to take the same characters and make a different show. There are rumors and all this about it being some kind of like comedy courtroom stuff, but like, listen, following up the series directly, bringing the Punisher back, these are things that they definitely should have even had press the gas on earlier in this phase. But y'all, Daredevil Born Again, with how it went with Netflix and those wonderful hallway fight scenes, the great fight choreo, the gritty nature of it, how the Netflix universe felt so separate. I think that's a perfect blueprint for how Marvel can do their animation and their TV shows, make this stuff feel separate. And for me, that's what was so good about Agatha, is that it was its own little pocket universe going on. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe you need to watch WandaVision, obviously you need to watch that, but that's its own corner of the universe. I love that this is also going to fit into that mold as well. I'm a strong 5 out of 5 for this one. I mean, after the first 3 seasons of this thing, I couldn't be any lower. But Cliff, how we feeling, man? Daredevil Born Again, the return of icons. Where are we sitting out of 5?
Oh, this is a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, however we want to describe it. I've always loved this character, like Daredevil, Netflix iterations, even as far as Ben Affleck's version. I'm just like, anytime Daredevil was on screen, I'm happy and whatnot. So like, this is like a great example for me of like what like a potential like legacy show could be. Like especially with like take Cobra Kai, for example, we've already had this one thing before that's been great. Now we're bringing it back and coming back and continuing it, but now it's within a new, I don't want to say it's within a new framework, if you will. Everything we like is still going to be there, but now it's like officially a part of the MCU. I'm excited to see what story they're doing. I'm excited to see more villains. I'm excited to see Bullseye, Punisher return. I'm hoping Jennifer Walter makes a cameo. Just saying, I need She-Hulk to pop out. I need them, to have their little mingle together again, et cetera, et cetera. So like, I'm excited for this, and it's coming out during my birthday month. Like this is for me.
Hell yeah.
This is perfect for me. Like,
Oh, hell yes.
give me everything.
This is your birthday present, sir. Yes.
Literally.
Same for me. 3 days before my birthday.
Mm.
Let's go.
Let's go Pisces gang. Mm.
Let's go, baby.
Man, I can't wait to see White Tiger, y'all. Like, I'm like, dude, that's gonna be
True.
such a sick live action character debut. Like, can't wait to see him, man. You got me excited about She-Hulk too. I'm like, man, Jessica Jones. We can have She-Hulk show up. We have Jessica Jones show up. No Iron Fist, but we could even have Luke Cage show up. That'd be cool.
we can rectify that Iron Fist situation. Jessica Henwick is right there.
You
She
know
can
what?
easily we can make changes.
Right there. That's my Iron
Her
Fist.
and what's homegirl, Misty Knight. They can both come back.
Yes.
Why not?
Oh my god. Oh, that would be so great. Daughters of the Dragon. Let's go. Mike, how you feeling, man?
What's our scale? 1 out of 5?
Yep.
1 through 5. Okay, this is a 20. It breaks the scale. Daredevil was probably the best thing to come out of Marvel ever. Like, he's probably one of their best comic characters. His show is phenomenal. I'm glad, like you were saying, Leo, that they decided to just make this a season 4 as opposed to new take, same actors, which I just like. That would have felt really weird and gross. Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin, phenomenal villain. I can't wait to see more of him. I want to see how we follow up Echo and Hawkeye with that character, which is something I don't think a lot of us even think about. Like, we've seen that character quite a bit, Fisk. So I want to see how Daredevil kind of reincorporates back into that story. Punisher is in this. Can't wait to see him again. There's just a lot to love here. I'm glad Marvel also decided to go back with the TVMA rating and not nerf this show. You know, it's also supposed to be 18 episodes, I think. It's a long show. So it's a lot of Daredevil. I can't wait.
5-minute episodes. I'm joking.
That's the
Just
thing I'm
imagine
afraid
that.
of. I'm afraid that Marvel does the thing where it's 20 minutes and it's 10 minutes of credits. It's oh, I hate you, Feige.
Would they do that to Daredevil though? I feel like of all the things,
I don't think they would.
In the Bob Chapek era, they would. Now I'm confident enough they won't.
What
That's
up,
fair.
Perp? Pulling up saying Disney can't fumble Daredevil. Yeah, they got the same people involved
Knock
from
on
the
wood.
original show back. They ain't fumbling this. They know.
I'm
what they got.
also excited just to get Karen and Foggy in the story. Also,
Yeah.
Matt, if
Yeah.
you're listening to this, don't let anything happen to Karen Page. For the love of God, don't let anything happen to Karen Page.
Our D&D queen, please let her live.
All I'm gonna say is, I think they're going to do that story, but it's
Leo
gonna
and
be
I can
Foggy's
comment on
son.
this.
I've read enough Daredevil to know. That's why I'm saying let's not do that, please.
I've read enough Daredevil. I've also seen pictures from Daredevil Born Again.
Damn it!
I'm not saying anything happens to anyone, but
But something happens to
I'm
somebody.
not saying nothing happens to anyone.
Things happen. Confirmed.
Things happen. Confirmed.
Spoiler alert,
Thank
Electra
God
pops
for
up.
Ren, because I was about to slip. Ren caught me hold on, brother.
Nah, I remember what I sent you.
Yeah.
You cannot talk. I cannot talk.
We will continue on, gentlemen, because that is. Oh, Ren, let us know what you think.
It's
Daredevil
it's
Born Again.
100 out of 5. Easily. I love the first 3 seasons of Daredevil are one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Easily top 10. Season 3 alone, I think, is sheer perfection. Flawless season of television. Superhero show or not. So happy they decided to, yes, let's make it a full-on continuation. The entire cast is back. The characters continue. The suit, which I thought I was going to hate when I saw the picture, and then I see the trailer, I'm like, it works. It works. So I'm very, very happy. I think it's going to be a very dark show. I think there's going to be kind of a point they're making with the tone of the show of, nope, this is now on Disney, but we're still dark as fuck, as they should be if it's a continuation from the Netflix show. So I cannot wait for this. March release, birthday release. I'm going to binge watch this all through my birthday. Well, not binge watch because they're doing weekly releases, which is a good thing. Continue doing that, Disney.
Yes, keep doing it. And I'm looking at Daredevil and Captain America and Spider-Man. I'm like, man, they're coming out the gate in 2025 with the tentpole characters. Like,
Yeah.
they're just starting off with 3 big ones. And I love that for Marvel. Come out the gate with the big stuff. Give us the big characters: Spider-Man, Captain America, Daredevil. Come out the gate with the bigs. And then we're
This is
going to one
also before we move
Oh,
on
go
to
ahead.
Thunderbolts. Sorry, I was just gonna say this is also like our first foray back into street level, right? I know Kevin Feige
Yeah.
has made a point of really wanting to have like cosmic and street level like different story arcs running. So I wonder how much this sets up and like fleshes out that world. We mentioned, getting Iron Fist and Jessica Jones and Punisher all back into the fold with this show, but like Feige's also mentioned Spider-Man and like how he would tie into this as well. And we also have Hawkeye and Miss Marvel. So I'm wondering what the conclusion of Born Again is going to be, because if it is that darker show but it's still MCU, how does it connect to these lighter like MCU stories that are also like still street level?
They kill Happy Hogan and Spider-Man shows up to cry.
Well, damn.
I guess Favreau out of here finally. I guess.
See, look at our reactions right now. As soon as Ren said they kill Happy Hogan, we were like, okay. Like nothing changed for any of us.
I will say this, especially now that it's on Disney Plus, that it's full on an MCU show. I think besides being a Daredevil show, you have Kingpin running for mayor. This should be a New York show. So whoever's in New York at the time of the events of the show should show up. If Daredevil is looking for some dirt on Kingpin, I think a great person to help him would be this photojournalist that takes great pictures of Spider-Man and so on. So I'm just saying, Kevin Feige, pay me.
Because no one knows that Spider-Man exists anymore. Well,
exactly.
They know, they just don't know that Peter Parker exists.
Who Peter Parker is, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if Daredevil learned that a young superhero in her teens is playing vigilante around in Hell's Kitchen, he would be a mature enough adult to go tell her not to do that and go back to Jersey City and enjoy her Captain Marvel fanfic. Another example of things that would plausibly happen in this show.
Yeah, that's why it's like I'm interested to see how they tie it all together, because we want that classic like Daredevil goodness we got from those first 3 seasons, but it's also like you're finally a part of the Marvel machine, and how do you handle that? Yeah.
And Gold Searcher brings up the split in episodes: 9 for season 1, 9 for season 2.
Okay.
They're already into season 2, so it's like, you've got a lot of room to work in small cameos and make it feel very easily integrated into this world. I mean, come on, even having Spider-Man swing through Hawkeye would have been a great connect. I thought in that last episode of Hawkeye, he was going to go swinging through, because it's like, okay, it's the Christmas episode. The In No Way Home is Christmas. They didn't do it, but we got an opportunity to do it here in Daredevil.
Well, you see, that's a different
universe. They already know each other. They've established that they know each other in canon. So, like, do it.
Right?
This is true.
Just do it, Marvel. Just do it. We just want to see Spider-Man and Daredevil on screen live action again in the TV verse. But speaking of street level, we've got, like I said, we were starting with Spider-Man, Captain America, Daredevil. Now we're going into Thunderbolts, which the more we see from this, the more familiar it feels, because it's definitely like this Marvel Suicide Squad. Like it very much feels like that energy. It's funny, there's a description on ScreenRant.com of Thunderbolts that says the film sees the likes of Bucky Barnes, Yelena Belova, Riot Russell, and the Red Guardian, and more as an unlikely group of heroes and villains brought together to fight for good. First of all, they just said, who's U.S. agent? They said, you know what? This man ain't popular enough. We just gonna call him Wyatt Russell.
I respect the shade, honestly.
What's that?
I said I respect the shade, honestly. They could have just said Florence Pugh and a bunch of Captain America knockoffs, and it would have got the same point across.
Listen. The more I see of this, the more fun it looks, because when I just had the concept piece, the description of what it was going to be, I'm like, man, these are all super soldiers and ghosts. And listen here, man, how are these people going to fight Sentry? I'm looking at this lineup and I'm like,
they ain't.
That might really be the
point. Like, you're gonna have to do some real convincing if this team is who's gonna be taking down Sentry, or maybe he's fighting with them on a greater threat, which I think would be a little bit more realistic. But I don't know. It looks like the team, especially from this latest trailer, I think it looks like a really fun time, but it is something we've seen before. You know, we've seen there several Suicide Squads now. It seems like Sony might be trying to get to that with their villain verse. Ren, how are we feeling about Thunderbolts? We got that coming up in May. What?
Thunderbolts asterisk.
Oh, Thunderbolts asterisk. Which is
AKA
supposed
Dark
to mean
Avengers. That's
something.
what's going to be called.
Yeah,
I will
right.
bet you money I don't have right now on that.
Does the title card change at the beginning of the movie or at the
No, at
end
the
of
end.
the movie? That's
At
the
the end, gotta do the
At the
Falcon
end
and the Winter
of the
Soldier, baby.
show.
Watch it be
Um,
midway.
I'm with you, Leo. When I first saw that picture, I'm like, okay. I guess I'll be there because Florence Pugh is in this, so I'll watch anything with her. I haven't seen the latest trailer. I've only seen the first one, but of the little like clips I haven't been able to avoid on Twitter, Bucky is straight up a Terminator in this, which I love. That's how you should portray Bucky. And even just with the first trailer, I think it actually looks really fun. It's one of those films that I started out very low in terms of excitement, but it has grown with every single thing that I've seen. I also think because of the whole how are these people fighting off Sentry, I think what could be really interested if they give us a little swerve, and after the first act, once they run into Sentry, this starts being a cat and mouse game, and they're running away from Sentry because for some reason he's on a thirst for murder quests, and he's after the Thunderbolts. I have no idea what's going to happen. Yes, I bet Taskmaster dies right away because apparently he's not in a lot of the second trailer. That's just what I've heard, not that I've seen. But I'm going to go up lower 4 than Captain America, but still a 4.
So it was like Captain America was like a hard 4. This is like a soft 4.
Yeah.
This is like a
This is soft 4.
Okay.
This is somewhere between 3.5 to a 4, but 3.5 when I say it out loud feels too low. So I'm more comfortable by saying 4.
3.5 and a possible, according to the
And
Spades.
Yeah, Thunderbolts, like the more I see, the better it gets. But from the start, at the start of this, I was like, when they unveiled it at Comic-Con, I was like, man, where Red Hulk at? Where's like
That
where's
was
the
my thing,
mustard, man?
The first run of Thunderbolts that I like read, because it was coming out as I was reading comics, the lineup was Red Hulk, Moon Knight, Deadpool, Punisher, Elektra, and Ghost Rider.
All these characters exist in the MCU. We could have literally done that.
If you tell me that squad is going up against Sentry, I believe that. Not all of them, though. Elektra is kind of fucked, too. You know.
It's out of 5, dude.
We're doing out of 5, dude. Sorry.
No, out of 5. I only went 100 out of 5 for Daredevil.
That's amazing.
Oh, man.
But just wait. Some of these will be 4 out of 10. Like we gonna get to them. Give us a second.
Cliff's like,
I'm
just
waiting
wait.
on that one. I know which one it is for me.
Yeah, I got maybe on this whole list. Honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I think I got one where I'm at like a 2.
I think I have one. I don't think I have any more than one, but I have one for sure.
Yeah, I got one, and it's unfortunate, but we'll get to that one.
Boy.
Cliff, let us know, man. Thunderbolts coming out May 2nd. What you thinking?
This is a solid like 3 for me, but I'm still excited for it. And here's what I mean by that. This movie's coming out in May. Like, we all know Marvel Studios love the month of May. They're not just going to drop a movie that they're not confident in like they're arguably their biggest month for, sales and whatnot. I could be completely wrong as well.
That's the Avengers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like the Guardians have had this date and all that stuff. So like they're banking on this. And so like one of the reasons I'm really excited for this movie is because I love the idea of like bad people getting together to do a mission. It's why I love the Suicide Squad. It's why I love, Ocean's 11 and that whole trilogy, Dirty Dozen and so forth, the Logan Luckies. Bringing together people who all have very specific skills and whatnot, all leaning towards one goal. Great. I'm in. I just don't know if majority of this cast I'm going to care about. Like we already know Bucky, Yelena, and maybe Red Guardian are going to have the most speaking lines, I feel, in this movie. Like they're going to be the crux, probably. Yeah, exactly. Like she's going to be the main draw, which no problem. Like we all said, like Marcella said, we're all here for Florence Pugh. Like she's great, wonderful, talented actor, right? But like it's kind of giving me like James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie. Where I'm like, I'm expecting at least 4 of these characters to die at some point.
Yeah.
And like by the end of the movie, I'm left with like 3 or 4. Like Red Guardian, when he's waving his hand, I'm like, oh, I think you're going to go out first, or at least halfway through the movie, you're gone. Like look at him. Like he just looks like he's not fit to be on anybody's team.
He took on Captain America. Put some respect on his name, sir.
Maybe he got to improve. He got to impress me first before and whatnot. But like, I'm genuinely curious to see like how this is going to go. I'm curious. Like Taskmaster, she's going to be out at least maybe 10 minutes into this movie, probably, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Ghost might go next after that. Exactly. But yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm also curious to see what like Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character has to do with all this. You know, especially like, what is her role? Who is actually the big bad of this story? Will there be a big bad of this story even? You know, will it just be an actual story where like these characters, their conflict is with each other and whatever they've been tasked to do, essentially. So I'm curious. You know, I'm giving it a solid 3. I'm being very generous with this movie, essentially.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Yelena in the middle there, and I'm looking to her left and to her right, and I'm like, everybody outside of that is potentially screwed in this movie. Like, even Red Guardian, like you said, yeah, it seems like it'll be a brave sacrifice. I'm like, are the only 2 that are gonna walk out of this alive? The 2 in the middle here, Yelena and Winter Soldier.
I don't think they'll kill U.S. Agent.
Yeah. Well.
You see, you guys have way more respect for this movie than I do. I think everybody survived this one. I don't think Marvel has the guts to kill these people off. Like, I'm just gonna be real. I don't think they do.
No, you kill some of these off, and then Ross as Red Hulk gets in this, and you got a better lineup for the next time the Thunderbolts show. But I don't know. Who knows?
But that's going off the assumption. Again, this is all assuming what happens before this. I don't even know if Ross is around after Captain America, though.
That's true.
You know, like I think Harrison Ford might be like one and done. Like, I did my thing. I'm out. Bye.
I'm out, kids. Enjoy your movies.
Seriously.
Also, just Taskmaster can go.
This is the last part that gets me. That is messy.
This is what Kevin Feige sent on the group chat. Right.
Well, the text notes. He's like, she can go. Because like, let's be honest about it. Like, is this the same Taskmaster from the Black Widow movie? Like, is this the same girl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna figure out what she's been up to this whole time. Okay.
So this is like the comparison that Cliff made to Suicide Squad is exactly why I'm not that excited for this movie, because I love me a heist movie. I do like seeing like a group of baddies assembling together to do a thing, but I don't like when we have them fight Enchantress or we have them fight Sentry, and it's like they're always trying to punch way higher than they need to be. And so like if this was just
number 1.
But you know that actually kind of worked, and I kind of done that. That's the only time it worked.
That's what I'm saying. Like Starro is the exception here, where it's like, oh, that makes sense.
Right, where it's like if this was just Marvel's like Oceans, now I'm sold. But right now we're floating at like a 2.5 or a 3 for me, all because of this one right here.
Queen.
He's getting them 3 stars alone just by existing in this movie. That's really what we're doing. The rest we'll have to see. Like, I don't know, because Val always just felt like discount Amanda Waller and Nick Fury, and this lineup's not particularly interesting. Especially in 2025. I don't know if I would need to see MAGA Captain America. I'm sorry. Like, we can just move on.
There it is. We broke the ice on that one.
Someone had to go there. I went there.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we're talking about a group of bad guys.
Have to do it.
I mean, we're talking about a group of bad guys here, so it fits. It tracks.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, just said U.S. agent can go though.
You can go.
So what do we think about when this comes out on Disney Plus and on physical media? Does it have the new title, or does it still have Thunderbolts asterisk and then the actual title like below it?
You got to have the asterisk for at least the first month or so. Like at least guide it onto the platform for the first month. Have it be Thunderbolts, then change it.
Because I'm like, we're all making videos about ranking MCU projects in terms of excitement, but then in terms of MCU projects rank from worst to best. No one's ever going to mention Thunderbolts again because everyone's going to say Dark Avengers is in this place.
Well, I think it'll be in the same realm as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where the title change comes at the last episode, but like Disney Plus will still refer to it as Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I think that's how this is probably going to go.
Good shout.
Yeah, this one, Thunderbolts, I'm at a safe 3.5, just because I just don't know where this is going to go. I like you, Mike, it just does feel like a rinse and repeat of the Suicide Squad formula, which James Gunn got right. So it is a little bit like, can it be as good? I'm hoping so. I'm just looking at that lineup and I'm like, I'm still kind of bored, but the actors are going to make this very entertaining. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, her Val just she hasn't done anything for me in this world. Honestly, when she appeared at the end of Black Widow, when she appeared in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was just like, Like, I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I was happy to see her as an actress, but I'm like, the Val character just ain't doing it for me, man. We're trying to do the Nick Fury light, diet Nick Fury, and it's just not working for me. It's not working. And I hope
Diet Nick Fury, diet Viola Davis. Like, it's crazy.
Right. I'm like, Viola had the presence. That character, Amanda Waller, is that chick. But I'm like, nah, I just can't say that about Val right now. And hopefully she proves me wrong with her Avengers Tower that she has.
Right. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, I did not know this entire time. They're the ones who bought Avengers Tower.
Yep.
Like, that
so
blew
boring.
my mind. Like,
oh, you know what?
okay. I was like, okay, this is here.
I forgot she showed up in Black Panther 2. The worst part of the movie.
Yeah, but I think that's what's killing my hype. And I know COVID had some issues, like her first appearance. Like, I think the order got rearranged on a couple of those. But
her first appearance was meant to be Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, but she showed up in like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Black Widow before. So like I know things got a little screwy there, but like I think all of that is killing my excitement for this, because it's like at this point I don't care. Like, we've teased it so many times and I still don't care. So I don't know how I'm supposed to feel.
Their biggest mistake is that every time this character's shown up has been the same purpose of, ooh, who is this character? And by the third or fourth time they do it, like, I've asked that question, just give me something more.
Right.
This
question here.
Yep. He will not show up. And
not in Thunderbolts, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, so I was dancing around this, but like, he's the Red Hulk and a villain in a previous movie. He might not make it out. Like,
yeah. Which sucks.
Well, they have to select another president in the next Captain America movie.
Oh, so just give us a Grey Hulk then. Just go through the colors.
Exactly.
Y'all got the rights now.
Make a purple Hulk. Make some new.
Well,
ones.
if you ask Twitter, Marvel movies are already gray as they are, so they already have a Grey Hulk technically.
Yeah.
It is top
Twitter
tier.
with them color grades.
Boom.
Most
Some wicked
boring
ones look.
way to engage with art.
It's like, I don't know if turning the contrast and saturation all the way up is a color grade, but what do I know?
The wicked ones have been hilarious, though.
It's like we just need Twitter to Twitter just need to study Technicolor just for a week.
You guys are still on Twitter?
I'm like, please just study the color wheel for a day, and you'll see that's not
an hour. Like, that'll be enough. Jesus.
Let's move on to this one, which I hate to say it, y'all. This is the one that I'm not as excited for. I really think if it came out 2 years ago when they had touted to be coming out after Black Panther Wakanda Forever, that adrenaline of seeing that character for the first time on the big screen would have continued for me. I would have been like, yeah, let's go. Like, hey, we get the Riri show right after Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Man, we 2 years out of that thing. Is it 3? I think we about 3 out of that. Okay, about
by the time this comes out, it's going to be 3, right? Because
by the time this comes out, it's 2.5 because it's June. Black Panther was November 2022.
November 2022, and that's a long time, folks. Not to mention, we still got Armor Wars floating around somewhere. Like, who knows what's going on with that? I
that's
like
optimistic,
right? I like Dominic.
Come on, man. Let John Cheadle star in a movie.
man. Or maybe it's they gonna do a Secret Wars thing and Terrence Howard come back. Who knows?
Oh no.
But Ironheart, I hate to say it. It's my lowest one. It's 2 out of 5 for me. I like Dominic Thorne. I like Anthony Ramos. I like the actors involved. Alden Ehrenreich is involved. I like the actors involved. My hype for Riri Williams in the live action has slowly fizzled out. Listen, I like the suit, but we changing the suit now. I don't know how to feel. I'm gonna pass this up to you, Mike. What you think, man? Ironheart coming out June 2025. Where you sitting at? 1 to 5.
We're at a 2, simply for the culture. I don't care about Riri that much in general, be it comics or movies. Like, she was probably the least interesting part of Wakanda Forever. There was a lot going on in that movie.
No, that was Val. We established that on the previous.
You know what? You're right. Val is so bad. I forgot she was in the movie, and we just discussed that like 2 minutes ago. No, okay, second. But Riri's a fine character. I just think, from what I know of them so far, is they're just kind of on the boring side. So I'm hoping that this show just kind of does something new and interesting for me. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I've seen this character. I didn't fall in love with this character, so I don't really need to see more of this character. But also, to give the show the benefit of the doubt, I felt this way about Agatha too, and that show ended up being great. So just because all my initial impression is I don't think I care about this, doesn't mean they can't surprise me. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. There's nothing unlike Thunderbolts where unlike Thunderbolts, I feel like with that movie, I felt way more like, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this because X, Y, and Z. On this one, it's more of a, I'm indifferent, but we'll see if they surprise me. And so that by itself, I think, is already better. Still, Florence Pugh isn't in this one, so it's a 2 out of 5 instead of a 3 out of 5.
So Florence
Anthony
Pugh
Ramos will make it a 2 for you?
Listen, man, I've seen Hamilton way too many times. I had my fill of Anthony Ramos.
Oh, Transformers Rise of the Beast don't do it for you either?
Haven't seen
the Heights.
Haven't seen In the Heights was great. You got me there.
The Heights
was
great.
Phenomenal. 10
There
out
we
of 10.
go. I'm mad I didn't mention that.
Good morning,
Wait, how did I see Rise of the Beast before you? That's the funny part.
Because I don't care about Transformers, remember?
This is true. This is very true.
Listen, Transformers, the one franchise that just finally got better. Like, man, it was like, all right, we really down a slippery slope here. We got extended scenes with people explaining how they could date people's daughters and shit. Then we finally come back with like some fun, self-contained movies, an animated one. Like, they finally back on the rise, and nobody's watching. Not a single.
I'm gonna just put it out there. The best Transformers movie's got Sentinel Prime as the villain. I'm gonna just say that. That's my comment.
The best Transformers movie came out this year, 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And it got Sentinel Prime as the villain.
1,000%.
That and Dark of the Moon, top tier.
Top tier.
Dark of the Moon is so good.
It might just silent the whole time. I love this.
Listen, man. I saw your letterbox and you had Bumblebee as like the 7th best Transformers movie, so I'm not willing to engage on Transformers talk.
Oh, whoa!
Because I already know Cliff is on some nonsense.
Yeah.
7?
Listen, just because Haley Steinfeld is there does not mean it's just we'll get into that. We'll make a whole podcast about Transformers movies.
Yeah,
I will not be there because I am not engaging in this debate. Y'all have fun with that.
Assembled includes all comics, so yes, we are definitely doing a Transformers video.
The Autobots are superheroes.
So you're doing G.I. Joe as well. Remember to not have me on for that one.
Back to this though. I have a question for you guys. How are we feeling with Marvel TV? I think that's the big concern with Ironheart is Marvel TV can be hit or miss. Do we think they finally figured it out going into 2025?
I mean,
no. Sorry, go ahead.
It's hard to determine.
I won't believe in the best for Marvel TV. Like they've given me Daredevil, they've given me Loki, they've given me WandaVision. They just gave me Agatha, which was a big surprise. So I want to believe. I don't believe in Ironheart specifically, though.
Yeah, it's hard with Ironheart because it was shot kind of before the reshuffling. So I'm like, all right, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know where it's gonna land. Is it gonna be one of those that just doesn't quite hit? I don't know though. I will say in terms of the Marvel shows, the only one I'm just gravely, incredibly disappointed in is Secret Invasion. That's the only one I'm just like, dude, miss me with that shit. I never want to see it again. The rest of them
I wish I
have
had
been
that mindset.
enjoyable to great. Yeah, do not waste your time. That one is.
Oh, I've already wasted it. I've seen Secret Wars. I've sat through
okay.
it.
I watched
So
episode
bad.
1. No, I watched 10 minutes of episode 1 and I said no. That was the first time I said no.
You said no to the best episode?
That's you see, this is why I
You
didn't
said
come
no to the
back.
pilot?
Yeah, that's a
When I
never
saw
watch
that
again.
first episode, I was like, this is legit the best first episode they've ever had. And then everything else that followed.
And then
So
it
maybe I just
crumbled.
like torturing myself because like I've sat through every Marvel show, and it's just like at the end of it, I'm just like, okay, all right, I guess I won't sell this character for another 5 years.
Yeah,
You'll torture yourself sitting through this. Don't even waste your time.
Like without even
Ironheart,
thinking about the story for Ironheart, I'm already curious. Is she going to pop up in Young Avengers? That's my main question.
Does
She's
Young
gotta.
Avengers exist?
No, they're not young anymore.
They're
They can
just
still be young.
Avengers.
College,
They're gonna be
early
champions.
20s, they could be Young Avengers, or that. Yeah.
Kate
Cliff,
Bishop was like 24 when we met her, by the
Yeah.
way. I'm just saying, Young Avengers was already past his prime.
Just
right?
call them Avengers. Just put them all on the same team.
New Avengers.
Yep.
I don't think we got your rating, Cliff, for Ironheart.
That's because I really don't have one, and I'm not even trying to throw shade. I just like I don't know. I guess it's a 1 out of 5 because like I like Riri Williams, and at least in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I loved her suit. I love the young inventor, college. Possibly smarter than Shuri. Like I love it all. But again, with these TV shows, it's more so like, will they actually give me a reason to care about her? And that's my biggest question. Like every MCU show, I'm just like, it's a rinse, wash, repeat for me. Where I watch it, cool, I move on to whatever is next. And outside of like Kamala Khan, that's probably been the most influential like character they've introduced in TV. She-Hulk probably a close second because that She-Hulk show made me actually go buy She-Hulk comics. So like they succeeded in my eyes, but everything else is just like, well, I guess she'll pop up at some point. I guess I'll see Moon Knight 7 years from now doing something. I don't know. But in the moment, it's like, okay. Like I'll watch it and then just go with the flow from there. So like I don't really have much for Ironheart at this moment.
Ren, where you at, man?
I'm gonna be the mean old man on this one. It's a 1 out of 5 for me. I don't care for this show. Here's the thing. Mike compared this very well to Agatha, where Agatha is this sort of spin-off show from a show we've already gotten in WandaVision. And even Agatha, a show I wasn't excited for, wasn't too interested in, a show that came out 3 years later than it should have come out. But Agatha, you understand, because they just went off of the success of that character in the show. So they started writing something around that. Ironheart has been shot and ready since Wakanda Forever, which is the movie it ties into. So why are we letting it right now, as we sit here, gentlemen, talking about this? It is 2 years too late to release this show, and we still have half a year to wait at this point. I don't get it. I don't understand what Marvel has a plan. Maybe it connects to Thunderbolts. Maybe it connects to Fantastic Four. I don't know. But to me, it's baffling that you have a show. It's ready. It's been shot. Maybe they didn't like it and they were going to do reshoots, but they didn't do reshoots. They didn't do rewrites. We know nothing about it if they did. So to me, it seems moronic, genuinely, to release a film that's a sequel to one of the biggest Marvel movies ever in Wakanda Forever. It is one of their biggest successes off of the pandemic, off of all the divisiveness in the Marvel fandom and movies that people like, the shows that people like, the movies that people hate, the shows that people hate. Wakanda Forever is very much a show that everyone is like, at the very least, like, yeah, I like it, to love it, really great, one of the best, blah, blah. Ironheart needs to come off of that momentum. They needed to release it, I don't know, let's say a 6-month window after Wakanda Forever. and for some reason they just chose to leave it on the shelf, which is baffling on so many levels, but especially on the level that this was still during the era of Bob Chapek, the guy who wanted more and more and more and more and more product for Disney Plus, and he just didn't release it. Like, to me, it's, and I still don't know what the show is about. Like, we've known what Daredevil is about for a long time. We've known what Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, has been for a long time. Ironheart has been ready to go for 2 years. We have half a year to go till we watch it. Who knows what this show is about? I have no idea. I don't know who Anthony Ramos is playing. I don't know who Alden Ehrenreich is playing. I've seen the rumors. I just haven't seen anything from Marvel. And that's worrying to me. But again, like Mike said, I also wasn't excited for Agatha. Agatha came out too late, and it still was a really good show. So hopefully this does the same. And I have to swallow my words and apologize to Ironheart.
So I was looking into it. Apparently, this is something that was on Screen Rant. It's still nothing from Marvel, to be clear. So we still don't have anything confirmed there. But apparently they were supposed to do reshoots, and then the Hollywood strikes happened, which delayed them on the reshoots there. And then apparently, again, according to Screen Rant, VFX, they're actually taking their time for once to make sure the show looks good. So if those are the reasons, I'll give them a little grace. But again, like you were saying, Ren, still nothing from Marvel, nothing from the directors or Kevin Feige. So grain of salt there.
Yeah,
nothing
exactly.
but some damn logo.
Ramos was in it.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. See, we've got nothing but some logos at how many D23s and SDCCs, and I'm like, dog. What?
Honestly, I think the one silver lining about this show is that, remember, everyone, there were rumors that Mephisto was going to be in the show. So week to week, the theories, they're gonna come back.
Mephisto is in everything at this point. He's the actual villain of Secret Wars. That's who Robert Downey Jr. is actually playing. Is a Victor Von Doom inspired Mephisto.
Remember, once the show comes out, week to week, the timeline on Twitter is going to be filled with Mephistos.
Guys, better get your red arrows and circles ready for the thumbnails. It's going to be a fun time.
We're going to move on to a project that just seems a lot better. This is in my opinion, man. The Fantastic Four finally bringing Marvel's first family into the MCU. Man, let me tell you guys, I like the original two. They're fun. Especially I have an attachment to them since I've watched them in theaters. But man, I'm like, yo, when that Fan 4 stick came out in 2015, I was like, what is Marvel doing to my family? What are they doing? So I love the casting for this movie. I love that we're getting a fresh start with these characters. Big Marvel characters in the comics. I'm so glad we're integrating them finally into the MCU. I know the Pedro Pascal casting was a little back and forth, but listen, I done seen some pictures of him with the Reed hairstyle. Man, looks awesome. I love how the spacesuits look. I love how retro this feels and that it's going to be in its own world. So they just have so much room to keep it self-contained. I'm at like a 10 out of 5 on this one. Like, I cannot wait for this. I've read a lot of Fantastic Four comics. I loved that animated show. Used to download it off of LimeWire, if anybody remembers that little program.
Remember LimeWire?
Remember that? Yeah,
showing your age here.
And it was
90s babies know what's up.
And I can't wait to see Galactus too. Man, I'm hyped to see that.
He's not gonna be a cloud this time.
Oh my God. Silver Surfer.
We've come so far, guys.
We've come so far, yet we still got a lot of ways to go.
Parallax. We had Parallax and we had Galactus within a few years of each other.
How did we get two major villains just revamped as clouds? I will never understand that.
One of them proudly a brown cloud. I don't know who was behind that decision, but
it was just kind of like, they were that was their way of saying the VFX aren't caught up enough to make these characters. But Red, start with you, man. Where you at? Fantastic Four.
This is I'm gonna say a 60 out of 5 because it's set in the 60s. So I cannot wait for this. Love Marvel's first family. I think this cast is stellar. from Pedro to Vanessa to Joseph to Ebon to Ralph Ineson as Galactus. No notes. I couldn't be more excited for this film. Stupid ass subtitle. Doesn't need a subtitle. So I'm just not even gonna address that subtitle at all. I cannot wait for this, and I think it's very much the film that could reshape how we see the MCU going forward and how we look back on certain elements since Phase 4 and 5, the Multiverse Saga.
Wait, no first steps? You don't like the Fantastic Four?
Why? It's the Fantastic Four. Like, just call it the
We've had
Fantastic
3
Four.
movies called Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
so have the best one reclaim that title. Because now, whenever I talk about the good one, I have to say First Steps when I could just say Fantastic Four. I'm not talking about this 3 shitty movies from the past. I'm talking about the Marvel one.
Oh, man.
Marvel Studios, the Fantastic Four, I guess, could have worked.
There you go.
I pretend that the 2015 don't even exist.
Nah.
Good grief, that was a mess.
We
Mike,
dubbed
where you
that
at,
one
man?
Fan Four
Fantastic Four.
Stick. Fantastic Four, First Steps. Yeah, I'm right with you guys. This is 60s out of 10, right? Like, that's right where we are. I'm excited to see where this goes because one, First Family, automatically I love these characters. Galactus is an interesting choice for a first villain, and I'm wondering how this ties into everything going forward because we know that this is set in an alternate universe, and they're gonna eventually like collide with our MCU timeline. So I'm wondering, does Galactus win and destroy their world, and they're forced to come here? And where does Doctor Doom tie into that? Because I assume RDJ is playing that Earth's Victor Von Doom. That only makes sense. It doesn't make sense to have Doom come from a completely different timeline from Reed and Sue.
Yeah, was it you that shared the video that someone was being sneaked into the set the other day? Yeah,
That was me.
Yeah. Nice.
So there you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty
It was
sure.
a white person. I could see that.
I'm 90% sure that Robert Downey's in this movie. So that automatically has the intrigue up, but that also brings my hype down a little bit. Didge, this is a Photoshop. So no one was gonna Photoshop the thing into this picture. I'm sorry.
Just put cousin. Just put cousin in the photo. That'll work. We got it. We get it.
Wait, we got to put him in the suit though. Get cousin in the suited version.
I guess. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. Shout out to Jefferson, by the way, for making this photo for us. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with this one. This is the one Marvel movie I'm probably like legit super excited for. Like nothing is going to match the heights of this one or Daredevil, the series, for me. So I'm excited. This is going to be a packed month because doesn't Superman and Jurassic Park come out that same month? So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be quite the triple feature.
All of these 3 movies have so much riding on them.
Yeah.
Kind of have the future of their franchises riding on their shoulders, really.
Very much so.
Because if any of them fail, some questions are going to be asked. I think Superman probably got the most pressure.
Oh,
I would honestly say Superman first, then Jurassic World Rebirth, and then this, to be honest. But all of them are high levels of pressure.
I would switch Jurassic and Fantastic Four.
Okay,
interesting.
We've seen enough Jurassic Park. Like we know how this is going to go. It's dinosaurs. Someone goes to an island, do something.
2 shitty ones. That's the problem.
Yeah, so like the pressure isn't high to me for Jurassic Park. Like it's outside. Like the cast is interesting. That's where I will give them credit, though.
The cast, the director is great. Great choice.
Here's my question with the pressure for Fantastic Four, though, right? Like, as comic fans, we have like high regard for the Fantastic Four, and we know that this movie is going to be important to the MCU. But like, as a normal movie-going audience, you've had at least 3 mediocre to bad ones. You know, I know some people are nostalgic for those early 2000s ones, but do they care about the Fantastic Four?
They
at all?
care only
Like-
because I would say because people have been so long complaining that Marvel's lost it, Marvel's not good anymore. So for the general audience, I would say Fantastic Four has a lot of pressure.
Wouldn't that pressure shift to Captain America instead, though, since that's the next movie?
That's fair, but I mean, with Marvel, it's always the next movie.
Yeah. So it feels like, I guess my point is, then it's just Marvel status quo. I don't know if it's more pressure than any other MCU
Yeah,
release.
fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Totally. And the thing about Jurassic World too is that you know what you're gonna get, and people just always show up, regardless of how good it is or not.
I mean,
They
you didn't even have
dinosaurs,
dinosaurs
man.
in the last one. Still made $1 billion.
$1 billion. It's like, dude.
That's why I was saying this Jurassic Park movie has the least amount of pressure because like it's relatively been successful every movie, regardless of how terrible they are. It's like it's going to make money regardless.
Yeah.
I know
At
that
least if it
as
earns
like
that money.
as film fans, we respect Jurassic Park because of that first one and what Spielberg was able to do with it. But I think the general audience, it's kind of just devolved into like a monster movie of like,
Yeah.
we all know Godzilla versus Kong is going to be stupid, but we want to see giant monsters do crazy stuff. And so I
It was
think
fucking metal.
right. So I think the Jurassic World franchise kind of is just at that point where it's like, yeah, we know it's not going to be great, but I want to see dinosaurs. And so $1 billion every time.
Mhm.
Cliff,
Yeah,
where you sitting
it's-
at Fantastic Four?
This is a strong 4 out of 5 for me. For multiple reasons. All y'all have mentioned them, but the biggest one being it's dropping the same month as Superman. I'm just like, I really appreciate that. Like, this is the month where both respective companies have their essentially their starter character and characters dropping a new movie together.
Ooh.
Did are you a Jurassic fan? Jurassic Park franchise fan? Like,
Because listen, I'm gonna keep it real. Jurassic Park, holy grail of a film, and then the rest of them, I was just like, we just slide on off the cliff after that. Jurassic
one
I like
gave me
two of the
Bryce
other
Dallas Howard an iconic running scene, so like I can't be mad. So, like, that's not saying much for that franchise, but yeah, no, I'm excited for Fantastic Four, the first steps, because as someone who's like recently started reading Fantastic Four comics, I'm curious to see how this goes. And if it's anything that's similar to like, Mitchell versus the Machines, or, that like family centric, like fun time, batshit crazy things happening, and especially in regards to the Fantastic Four being, this interesting example of like science exploration and how weird and wacky and goofy you can get. Like, give me Mitchell versus the Machines and the Incredibles, and give me a character like Mole Man and whatnot in this new iteration. And we got Cousin coming over, so I know his mouth. I know his lines are about to be wild. I'm expecting him and Johnny to butt heads. It has to be Cousin and Carmi basically in this movie. I'm expecting that kind of like heat between these two characters and whatnot. So I just think there's a lot that could work here, especially with it being within its own timeline. So like, there's nothing that has to really connect it to anything else just yet. So it's just like, hey,
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, meet this family, meet this new version of this family. Let's have fun with them. Like we're getting, is it Kirby, that little robot thing that exists? I'm like,
Kirby, automatically.
yeah, Kirby. Exactly. I'm like, you're even giving me, the robotic assistant and all this stuff. Like there's a lot that could work for this movie. And I'm really hoping they take their time, and I think it just finished wrapping filming today, right? I think that's what it was. Yeah, so like,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, so now we got, time for reshoots and all that stuff, and then work on the edits and post-production, special effects. So I'm like, this could be a really great movie. It could be a really great standalone like Marvel movie. And I hope it like elevates the Fantastic Four and just be like, hey, I'll be there for a sequel,
Yeah. Everything Cliff just said is what I'm hoping we get from this movie, but I'm a little nervous that Marvel does the thing where it's just like we just set up the next thing and we lose that family drama that we want from it. Because once you say, oh, the next Avengers movie is going to be Doomsday, it's like, okay, is Fantastic Four going to end up becoming Iron Man 2, where we are setting things up for the next one? I don't think it'll be Iron Man 2 levels of bad, but I'm just hoping it's not just the setup movie instead of just being, we're spending time with the first family on this adventure. That's what I'm hoping that the movie actually accomplishes instead.
Yeah, I hope it
It
does.
feels like the Daredevil for me. Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
very
where it's like it's the
comfortable
one they
with
have to
that.
bank on.
There's one. I don't think the movie necessarily needs to do this because it's the first one, but I would love if immediately in this first film they give us glimpses of the darker side of Reed Richards, and Pedro can play it. We've seen that he can play it, especially in The Last of Us.
The Joel Miller coming out.
Yeah, you're treading on some mighty thin ice, Ellie.
Especially yelling at Johnny. Like, I'm very excited. I love Chris Evans as the Human Torch, so like I'm expecting this Johnny to be hilarious, annoying, like that doofus that I want to punch every time he pops on screen. That's what I'm hoping for.
He needs to play
douche,
his
yeah.
character from Gladiator 2, but with the likability of his character from Stranger Things.
Yes.
That's what Ren. That's perfect because I wanted to punch his character in the Gladiator too.
Yeah.
Him and the brothers. As soon as they popped, I was like, "Y'all need to die. I'm over y'all already. Y'all are annoying." But that's a great example of what I'm hoping for.
Spoken. So annoying in that movie.
Again!
Yeah, the cast, our Galactus. There's just so much to love about what's being set up here. But I wonder if, and I think this would be the perfect actually collision of those ideas if we just take the setup and it's just the post credit. That's the only setup we get here for the next, because it's like we want to keep this self-contained. We want to keep this focused on the family. Then have Galactus destroy the universe in the post credit, and then it's like, okay, where do we go from here? Do we get? My question here is, how much Doom do we get? How much Victor Von Doom are we gonna see here? Because we gotta see a decent amount, right? Set up that relationship.
I don't think much. I think we're all assuming that. Yeah, I think we're all thinking like educating a guess essentially because of the comics. Like I think we're all expecting Reed and Doom to have some sort of relationship. But I don't think this Tony Stark is going to be that familiar with Reed Richards, honestly.
Okay.
So go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, I think Doom in this movie doesn't need to have the biggest runtime, but he needs to be a character that even without him on screen, you feel his presence. So maybe he's financing the experiment. He tries to finance whatever machine Reed tries to create to get rid of Galactus, and maybe in the strategies he's considering, we see a little bit more of that heartlessness that Sue brings him back from. And that's kind of the Victor influence, so to speak. I would love to see that, and especially with Victor, Dr. Doom being the bad guy in Doomsday and Secret Wars. I think that's necessary in this film, unless you want to focus Doomsday on Reed and Victor's relationship.
Yeah, that's again where my concerns kind of lie, though, right? Because you're doing Galactus. And you're allegedly introducing, Franklin. Like the kids are apparently in this movie in some capacity as well. Allegedly, this is all speculation. But and then you have the Dr. Doom of it all. And it's like, if this was just a regular Fantastic Four movie, I'd say he wouldn't be in it that much. But like you were saying, Rand, you need to establish that character as a threat. Like if he's going to be not just an Avengers level threat, but a multiversal threat. You can't just say he's in here for 2 seconds, like he's got to have some sort of presence in this film.
Well, because also if you want to defeat Galactus, you have to establish Reed Richards as the smartest man on their planet. But maybe Reed Richards says, I'm only number 2. And immediately you already have a sense of, this guy who's like super intelligent and big superhero celebrity, blah, blah, but he thinks there's someone smarter than him. And that should be
and that sadly tracks with Tony Stark.
Yeah.
I love how you keep reverting back to Tony Stark. He's Victor Von Doom, bro. Allegedly.
They are not calling this man Victor. He is Tony. Him and Reed are friends in this other universe. I'm convinced Tony is the one who, like Ren said, he like finances whatever the Fantastic Four are up to, and that's how they end up traversing the multiverse somehow.
To be clear, I'm with Mike. I think he's Victor Von Doom.
Yeah,
Because
same.
it just sounds like Tony Stark would proclaim himself to be the
Yeah.
smartest person alive.
I
And when
mean,
Reed comes in, they button heads.
and
Like, they're not
maybe
friends
that
in
could
the
be,
comics.
if he is a Tony Stark, that would be interesting. If it is a Tony Stark who becomes Victor Von Doom, and he's just jealous that Reed Richards is the most brilliant mind in the multiverse, because he is.
Oof.
Listen,
That would be
like-
so much lore that gets lost with Doom
I
and
know.
Latveria, and like
I
would
think
hate
I
that,
think
but
that's
I
what's
see it.
happening.
I
Like, I think that's really what's happening. Like, I don't think he's going to be from Latveria. I think this is going to be a Tony who had all the main MCU stuff happen and lost multiple times, or he lost one time and then decided to never feel that feeling again. So now he's just
Maybe
messy.
this is in another timeline and universe, because Tony Stark, because Doctor Strange told Tony Stark the one way they would win, and Tony Stark didn't do it. Who
Now we're
knows?
cooking. That could be
Maybe
a
Kevin
possibility.
Yeah, that blew my head cap open. Yeah, for sure. Listen, dude, I just think any way they can integrate it in a way that it can be understandable is just the way they got to go. They got to make this to where everybody can really understand, and it fits into the story. And I think you don't necessarily, like you said, Ren, you don't have to have him in it a lot, but like you said, you got to have that influence. You got to have that kind. You got to have him in it, even without being on the screen. His influence has to be throughout. But Fantastic Four, that and Daredevil, my two favorite upcoming projects. And then I don't want to say we go into like a slump or anything, but it's just kind of like we have the end of the last few of the year with Eyes of Wakanda, which I'm actually very curious about. I want to know a little bit more about this. I think this has gone through a few different iterations. It kind of sounded like it was going to be a live action project with Ryan Coogler involved, and now it's an animated project. I don't hate that change. I guess I just want to know and see more about what Eyes of Wakanda is going to really follow. But I mean, listen, more Wakanda, the better for me. So I'm automatically for the culture. I'm already just automatically out of 3.5, 4. Just because, like, more Black Panther lore, more Wakanda lore. Mike, where are you sitting at with this one?
Is Ryan Coogler involved with this one?
Allegedly.
No. Let me just double check because I don't know that.
If Ryan Coogler's involved in this, 10. Off the bat, 10.
Fair.
If he's not, we're going all the way down to a 2. Because already we're doing that art style from What If, and that, like, I do not like What If at all. So, like, this is not the vibe I want to be getting off the bat. I do like the idea of, like, going through the history of Wakanda. That's very fascinating to me. So there's stories here that I think can be told that could be really cool, but yeah, this is the side of Marvel Animation where it's kind of like, I don't know. But if Ryan Coogler's involved, then we're back, baby.
To what capacity?
We're
He's
so
involved.
back.
He is EP and he developed it. He's not the director, but he is involved.
Okay.
I will
So
take it.
That,
We are so
that could
back.
just be a credit name for all we know. Like,
Cliff, let me have this. He keeps trying to bring me back to Earth. I said we are so back. Let us be back for a second, bro.
So the premise is the Hatut Zarazi, Wakandan warriors, carry out dangerous missions around the world to retrieve vibranium artifacts throughout history.
Okay.
like
Listen, this
cool.
started out. This was like supposed to kind of be like an anthology series that went through like different Wakandan characters. Like Okoye was supposed to get an episode. I think that's just what it was developed as at first.
Yeah.
And I like that idea better.
I mean, I think that idea still kind of exists here. So, like, they're going after artifacts, and I'm pretty sure, like, once they get the artifact, we do a flashback from where it came from. And I think
That's
that's
true.
kind of the approach to it. So I think that main idea still exists in this show in some capacity.
Oh, and Iron Fist is going to be in this. Don't know
What?
how, but
Suddenly, it's a 3 out of 5 for me.
ah!
What was
Okay,
it
does that
initially?
shoot
Is that
up?
up or down?
It's up,
Right, I was like,
pretty much.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, no,
How you feeling about it,
because I'm curious. it was already a 2 out of 5 for me because of again, it's Black Panther, Wakanda. Namor is still one of my favorite villains of just like the post Infinity Saga era, Multiverse Saga, if you will, and whatnot. So I'm always just curious, like, what are the Wakandans up to? Like, all of this stuff is happening, and they still just chilling, minding their own business, it seems, and whatnot. But yeah, I'm curious to see, how important are these artifacts? Do these artifacts influence any other things? Do they have ties to other, Infinity Stones here? Could they be influenced for like a scepter that holds Infinity Stones? I don't know. I'm just curious to see what it is. And now that Iron Fist might pop up, I need that fight.
Yeah, that fight's
And
gonna.
this is
Especially
weird. It's
not saying
only
that it's going to be
4
what you call them, but if it's any older version of the Iron Fist, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I don't need it to be modeled after old Finn Jones. Let's just go
Nah,
ahead
it's
and
definitely
erase
gonna
that
be
off
someone
the
else.
board.
This man
Probably
has
gonna
caught
be the
so many
original.
strays randomly this episode.
For no reason. So many strays. And he probably just home eating a sandwich. Like,
He's literally doing the 50 Cent. What they say F me for? Like I'm not even in any of these.
like y'all ain't seen me since 2017. Like, I've been going.
Yeah. Another concerning thing about this, it's only 4 episodes.
Yep. But so is the next show we're gonna talk about. So
Yeah.
So here's my
doing, like,
question.
yeah.
Let me ask y'all something. For these shows that are like 4 episodes, whatever, let's say 6 max, right? Why don't they just release this as movies or like one thing? Because like,
beats me.
why y'all want me to invest it for a month and that's it?
Yes, that's a Disney
Like,
Plus
just
subscription. That's why.
we're not
Yeah.
paying for that.
You right though. What happened to the special presentation format? Who knows? Like this could have
Yeah.
easily been
Exactly,
a special
like-
presentation.
That and so many other things.
Honestly,
And
even
it's also
having
another
liked
thing.
Agatha, that could have still been a special presentation.
Like, Agatha did not need to be 9 episodes.
Nope.
Nope.
It didn't.
Especially not the Billy episode, but that's another conversation for another day.
Ah!
That
You
really
didn't
could
like
have
the
been a
Billy
special
episode?
too.
I liked it as an episode. It doesn't make a lick of sense though.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, Eyes of Wakanda. How you feeling about Eyes of Wakanda?
It's solid 3. Mostly because I don't know what the show is. Because it has been so many things even before it has come out. When it was going to be a live action show following Okoye with the new suits from Wakanda Forever, that I forget what the name was, but they were cool names. They were like Angels something or something Angel. When it was going to be that, I was all in. And like Mike was asking, because when the show was going to be that, Ryan Coogler was most definitely involved. I don't know if directing, but certainly he was writing it.
Yeah.
As an animated show, on one hand, I think the suddenly dropping of 4 episodes, here you go, feels random. At the same time, what I will say is this version of the show as an anime like anthology following several histories throughout the several stories throughout the history of Wakanda, that's what Marvel shows should be. Expanding on the interesting parts and aspects of the MCU. Something that people fell in love with as even before the original Black Panther came out. Oh shit, Wakanda, what is this? Like this incredible futuristic city with all these traditions and this specific culture to itself. That's what we should be exploring more. That's what Marvel shows should be extracting from the movies, those interesting aspects that make the worlds, the characters pop and stand out.
Yeah.
So on one hand, I'm excited for that. On the other, same issue as Ironheart. Why are we only getting this show now and not like 2 weeks or a month after Wakanda Forever dropped? So I'm interested enough. Like I said, it's an MCU thing. I'm going to be there to give it its fair shot. I still want to, I just want to figure out what this show is before saying, oh, I'm super excited for it, or I'm not excited at all. So it just lands midway through on the 3.
And to add to Ren's part about all that and how this whole conversation we've been talking about, there's so many things that have happened. And with this show being an anthology series as well, what does Namor's people have to do with all this as well? Like,
Yeah.
they still live underwater during all of this. Like, when I think about it, I'm just like, they're a society who also has access to vibranium. So, like, if we're doing an anthology series, we can retcon stuff. We're like, oh, they've actually run into each other before, but didn't know each other's people actually existed or something, you know. Basically, what I'm saying is, like, if you give me a series that's about, you know, recovering stolen vibranium artifacts and whatnot, there's a whole nother society that lives in the ocean hidden that has access to this. So, like, what is their part in this as well? You know, it's another avenue of like, hey, we still got this portion of the world that hasn't been touched yet that's related to Wakanda and Black Panther and all that stuff. So, like, if this really could have been a series where, like, we take the chance to explore all of that lore even more, I think. But it's obviously not going to happen.
I think you honestly gave Marvel a great idea, because in the same way Star Wars did Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Sith, they could do Eyes of Wakanda and Eyes of Talokan, for example. There you go.
I'm so happy you remembered that name, because I did not know.
I
what
had
the
to
series
rack
was called
my
for a
brain. I'm
second.
like, it's not Atlantis. It's not Atlantis. It's not Atlantis.
Hey, Kevin Feige, cut the check.
Cut the check, Kevin Feige.
Cut
I
the
mean,
check.
the
We've
man
been giving
basically
ideas
stole my
every
pitch for X-Men
episode.
Quantumania. Just made it worse.
Right, this man getting
Feige,
free
you want pitches for the
ideas.
X-Men franchise? Hit us up.
But yeah,
Oh.
to play devil's advocate with like the episode count, it being 4 episodes might be a good thing, because like, what if they just had 4 really strong ideas? I'd rather them just like hammer in on like those core ideas that they had and like flesh those out, as opposed to trying to stretch this out to 9 episodes or 6
That's more than
episodes.
fair.
So yeah, like I'm actually intrigued by Marvel taking this one, saying, hey, it's only going to be 4, even though some shows are 6, some shows are 9. Maybe they just have 4 really cool anthology ideas. So that's what I'm hoping for. Just off this image alone, we know this is not T'Challa, so we are going back in time at some point. And this definitely isn't Shuri. So I'm interested to see
this
how they
has to be
tackle it.
T'Chaka, right?
I think this is T'Chaka.
I think so.
Yeah, this has to be the render from one
Yeah,
of
the
the What If
sigil
episodes.
around his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got another 4 episode series coming up as well in a few months after this. Marvel's
Like, why isn't this a movie? Like,
Why does
You
this
know,
exist?
This is the one What If episode I was like, yeah, man. The Marvel Zombies episode. And that's exactly what this is based off of. An alternate timeline follows a group of survivors as they fight against former heroes and villains. Why the hell is Katie in this? Aquafina's character in Shang-Chi.
Why do we have 2 archers named Kate in this universe? That's what I want to know.
Oh shit!
Like, why did we do that?
Realize that now?
pause
Hold up.
recording. Mike,
Kate Bishop's in this.
I just thought about that. It took me a second to even
What the
figure out
hell?
who Katie was. I was thinking of Kate Bishop when Leo mentioned Katie.
Yeah,
And then he said Aquafina. Then y'all
From
mentioned
Shang-Chi.
arrows. I'm like,
I was thinking
My
of
mind
Kate
is-
Bishop, but at the same time thinking, why did Leo call her Katie?
yeah. They're like that when that character was introduced. I'm like, why are we doing this? Give her a different
See?
weapon. Why did we name her Katie? I like something. Something's got to
This
give.
is the problem with that character, and why I'm like, why is she even in the lineup, man? You already got an archer named Kate. Who was a
Why is
much
she
better
being brought along by Shang-Chi? It's irresponsible.
Yeah.
well, Shang-Chi is irresponsible to begin with, but
He is. He
Yeah.
is. I
That's a whole
just
nother
mean, have some
conversation.
compassion for your friend. She could die.
We got Zombie Wanda. Once again, Wanda's a villain. We have Yelena Belova, Black Widow, Miss Marvel. Decent little lineup of characters. Riri's in it. Good look. It almost sounds kind of like a Young Avengers little testing ground here, because you have that
imagine
core
that.
group of Miss Marvel, Riri, and Kate Bishop. So listen, I like the What If episode, the zombies one. I think this is a fun little 4-episode batch. I do think this could have just been a special presentation. I don't know that it needed to be stretch it out 4 weeks, but hey, if it's strong enough of a series where every episode ends very strongly, hey, I'll be seated for this one. Could it just not have been the What If animation? I think that's my biggest like gripe about this.
Right? Who
one.
keeps improving on this house
So-
house style?
Playing devil's advocate again, the original story was a what if episode. So I feel like this does make sense to still be that.
Yeah, but can
Sadly,
we?
but-
I don't know. Could we have mixed it up? Could we have gotten
I
a
don't know, I feel
little
ya.
something a little different? This one is like I'm a smooth like 3.5 out of 5. It seems fun, but am I gonna be like, oh my god, Marvel Zombies was the best project of the year? Probably not. But it does seem like we'll get to kind of test the chemistry with the Young Avengers or champions or whatever they want to call that team.
Or their voices, at least.
Right, the voice roles of the characters.
And even then, it'll be voice actors. It won't be the actual actors who play them in live action.
I mean,
potentially.
I think
Oh,
most of them are the actual actors.
Are they?
to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the
leave
same,
most
all the
of them, if
same.
not all.
Haley, Iman, Dominic Thorne. Yeah, it's all the same people.
There you go.
Okay. So that means I got here.
Cliff, how you
again.
feel about this one, man? Marvel Zombies.
As someone who's a big zombie fan, I'll watch it. That's about it. Like, it's not, and not even no shade to it. It's just something where I don't necessarily know if it's something I'm like genuinely like, oh my god, I can't wait to see Marvel Zombies. You know, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, it feels like it's something I don't have to rush to watch. Essentially,
Where we're going out of 5.
I give it a 2 out of 5.
Damn.
Like
Tough
genuinely,
crowd.
there's not much I have to say about it. It's just like cool. Like I guess I'll watch it.
Yeah.
You know,
Mike.
like, it'll come and go.
Yeah. Have you guys ever read Deceased from DC Comics? Their zombie.
Mhm.
That if it's anything like that, this show can be fire. Like if they go all in on that idea, and that's what I loved about that What If episode, where they kind of like leaned hard into, yeah, this world is cooked. These are the survivors and how they're gonna deal with the zombie invasion. And so if they can channel that energy, this can potentially be like a 4 or a 5 out of 5. As it stands right now, though, I am like 2.5 out of 5, maybe 3, because I don't know if they have the stuff to get there. But like knowing, I haven't read like Marvel Zombies comics, but I have read the DC like equivalent, and I know how cool that can be. And that one episode of What If was one of the best of that season. So there's potential here, but as of right now, I'm not like super excited for it. I do like how it's going to be the entire, I'm assuming it's the entire month of October. So
Yep.
That would be fun for Halloween. I think that's why they're kind of stretching it out there instead of just like making it a special presentation, because the 4 episodes I think would lend itself to that, like just a mini movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm excited for this somewhat.
Yeah, it's kind of just like we don't have a lot to go off of, and geez, none of these projects have like a full official trailer besides the movies. Like none of these shows even have a full trailer, so we'll know a little bit more once they finally give us some trailers. I'm like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We still don't got a trailer on that thing, man.
We're gonna get one with What If, for sure.
Yep.
And can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah.
No.
Does the super soldier serum not cancel out any infection? Like in my mind, the one person who could survive a zombie outbreak would be Cat, potentially.
Good question.
Like I get it, it's comic book science, but I'm just like,
Yeah, I don't know that they could account for that, because are in the MCU proper, are zombies a thing?
nope.
Right
yeah.
now.
That's
Not
the
that we
thing.
know
I
yet.
have no idea. Exactly.
His
Yeah,
parasite or whatever this agent is that turns him into zombies is stronger than the super soldier serum.
Mm.
I have another question to piggyback off of that then. Are Wolverine and Deadpool like immune to this with their healing factors?
I would assume.
I
So.
bel-
Is
I
Blade
believe
immune to
in the
this?
comics Deadpool was immune. So
Okay,
he was just fighting the zombies. I don't know about Wolverine. I generally don't remember.
Because Deadpool and Wolverine kill the Marvel universe, Marvel Zombieverse. That would be awesome. Like do that.
that could be secretly what this whole show is. And if
Yeah.
it's revealed to be that once it comes out, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, A plus.
10 out
No,
of
no.
10, dude.
number one MCU project ever. It
That
trumps
would be
Endgame.
awesome as hell. Honestly, we could finally get it. Deadpool, Wolverine, kill the Marvel universe. Absolutely, 100% approve of that. Now, this last one here, Wonder Man. I just want to read the synopsis here, starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen as the actor turned superhero Simon Williams. Wonder Man also features Ben Kingsley, who reprises his Iron Man 3 and Shang-Chi role as the eccentric thespian Trevor Slattery. Now, this one seems like this fun kind of meta humor thing going on with the MCU, and I really like that idea. I love Yahya, bringing over Yahya as this character. I'm interested. Listen, I'm intrigued. There's not a lot to really go off of right now. We just don't have that many details, but listen, they said Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I was like, okay, hat tip based
It's a
on
4 out of
that.
5
And
for
then
me.
the actor, 1 out of 5?
No, 4 out of 5.
Oh, I thought you said 1. I was like, dang.
Yeah, no.
You just
my
said
bad,
you
my
hate.
bad.
We don't even know anything yet.
Right.
You know, like this. Yeah. But sorry, go ahead.
But no, go ahead, Cliff. What you think?
No, I was just gonna say simply, it's a 4 out of 5 for me simply because of Yahya. Like, this man has not disappointed us in Aquaman, Watchmen. He's the number one selling point for me in this entire show. Like that little clip from whatever they did that like coming up in 2025 video, whatever they released. I think it was like a couple months ago.
Yeah,
And he kind of just pops up. He's like, "Hi, I'm Simon Williams. I'm here for the role of Wonder Man." I'm like, look at you acting. This is why we love you, sir. This is why you're giving diversity. You're giving just range essentially here, and knowing that it's kind of like a meta thing. That's also kind of my like. I like the weird stuff in comics. If no one knew, so like this, I feel like this has the potential being the weird, even more weird than Fantastic Four could be, as well. And it would be a 5, but Ben Kingsley's character is there, so that's why I have to drop it. Essentially,
Why does Trevor Slattery just keep showing up? Like,
I don't know. What is the point? There must be a contract. He must be getting a check somehow. Like this character adds nothing to these movies, but he's here. How does he escape? Yeah, how did he escape?
When he was there, I was like,
it was the actual Mandarin who broke him out and had him as his prisoner in Shang-Chi.
That's right.
Yep.
And then he left with Shang-Chi in the end. I'm guessing.
Okay.
yeah.
So they probably just dropped him off back in the portal.
That's my thing. Is like that's fun. Like him coming back in Shang-Chi is funny because the real Mandarin's here. I get it. A third time is ridiculous to me. It's like, okay, now what are we doing?
But he's an actor.
Like, why is he working on a movie set? Exactly, he's an actor. So like, how did he get this gig? Like,
especially when the role was just like international terrorism.
He's a very good actor.
International terrorism. You were locked away with a magical pet for however many years. Like,
he's
sir, you need to get your life back
good
together.
Agent, I guess. I don't know. Back to Wonder Man though. I'm at like you guys are saying, we don't know anything about this, so I don't think it's fair for me to give it a rating because it's probably going to be like a 2 out of 5 because like I have zero information to go off of, so therefore I'm not excited. So that's not fair to the show for me to even try and like give a rating. But I'm interested. Hopefully we get a trailer soon. December. That's going to be an interesting spot for Marvel. The last project of the year, so hopefully it goes out with a bang.
Ren?
I'm gonna go with a 3.5 because I'm very curious about the show. Yahya is a big selling point for me. Them doing a Wonder Man show, like just the concept of that, yeah, I'm in for that. Why I can't go any higher, but also what could be like the best thing about the show is that I have no idea what the show is. And I'm going to sound like a little bit of a hypocrite because I said I have no idea what Eyes of Wakanda is and that what's leaving me reticent towards it. Wonder Man, the tone, the imagery, the look of the character, like the whole thing of being this meta scenario where he's playing Simon Williams, but Simon Williams is also going for an audition to be cast as Wonder Man in the end. That has nothing to do with Wonder Man in the in the comics. Like, completely different. Like, that is not what Wonder Man is at all. But at the same time, when you take into account who the character, what kind of stories is included in the comics, and then the show, like, what does this mix look like? Do they bring in any of the elements of his history with Wanda, with Vision? Do they bring in any of his history with the particle that is inside him, that the story they cover in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the animated show, which is fantastic. The picture that was just there right behind Yaya is from a comic book from the Age of Heroes. I have that exact comic book, the single issue where that's the cover, where he goes against the Avengers and he beats them. So I just want to see what they're doing with Wonder Man. And the fact that I don't know is leaving me very excited. Because usually when some of the MCU comes out, like, I know the characters because we're all nerds. We all read the comics. We all know what we're talking about. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is, and that's leaving me very excited. Like, what could this mean for the MCU? Is this coming out? Maybe I'm overthinking it, but is it coming out on Christmas time for a specific reason? Is it coming out after Fantastic Four for a specific reason? Is it close to Doomsday for a specific? Like, there's so many questions revolving around this show, and all of them are exciting, regardless of which direction we go with the answers.
And Ren, I can answer one of your questions. Yeah,
Please.
I can answer one of your questions. It's coming out on Christmas because Yaya's acting is just a gift to us every time he pops up. That's why. That's the main reason why.
I do love watching the men on Christmas. I watched him in Christmas 2018. I watched him on Christmas last year. He's always a treat.
He's a part of the holiday at this point.
He is. He comes with the furniture.
Yeah.
The gift that keeps on giving. And just a quick tidbit too. This is the Marvel Spotlight banner. Yeah, Didge. Damn right. This is under the
That's
Marvel
interesting.
Spotlight banner, which is just to reiterate, select series that focus on more grounded, character-driven stories and are less about impacting the larger MCU narrative. So it's gonna stay in its own box.
Nothing about Wonder Man should be grounded, if I'm honest. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Nothing about
another...
Echo was ultimately grounded by the end.
Yeah, so I was about to ask, what was the last spotlight we've had?
It was Echo.
Okay. Interesting.
Got pretty fantastical in Echo, so
He has me glowing hands. Grounded.
What happened to Echo again?
She gets vague superpowers at the end.
Because I'm genuinely asking. I watched
you
it,
what
but
superpowers are. I just remember that her hands glow.
and her ancestor popped up beside her and stuff. Like, it was like, okay, we got really like fantasy toward the end.
I thought I was watching a Kaori show suddenly, and I'm like, what? I missed the previous whatever episodes.
Yeah, I liked Echo though. I thought that was fire. So,
I think I forgot to
gentlemen.
finish Echo.
you didn't miss much.
Dang. I can tell you this much. I really liked Echo. You can come to it whenever.
I thought it was fine. It's above Secret Invasion for me. I'll say
that. That's not a good bar, Red. This is not convincing at all.
I'm just being honest, guys. I'm just being honest. I will tell you this much. It's right above Secret Invasion. My last spot, sorry everyone, is She-Hulk, then Iron Man 2, then Secret Invasion, then Echo, then Thor: The Dark World, and so on and so forth. Positive, I've given positive grades to every single thing in the MCU. That's why the internet says I'm a shill.
Wait, even Secret Invasion?
Yeah, I went 3 or what's the grade? No, I went 2.5. She-Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Secret Invasion are 2.5s, and then from Echo onwards, it's 3. Oh, I did not grade Echo. Echo is 3 stars though.
We're gonna have to start.
We're gonna have to do like an MCU
now.
just
shill geekness.
We're gonna have to do like an MCU base ranking episode because woo. He said you are no longer on the right cliff. You're no longer right.
Dish, how you just gonna give it to me and then take it away?
This man snatched the chain right off your neck, man.
Like, dang.
Like, he did a full TI and ATL. Like, give me this back, bro. Like, you can't have this no more. That's crazy.
Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off.
All right, gentlemen, we made it through the Marvel 2025 slate, which is hilariously packed after Bob Iger said that they were going to scale down, but they had to get these projects out. They were already in the can. So this is going to be Marvel's like busiest year, probably for a good while.
They could have pushed Ironheart back for like a 9th time.
No, not again.
Man,
at this point, just wait till Black Panther 3 releases and then put Ironheart out.
They're going to do an Artemis
So
Fowl,
2030, basically.
2030.
Jumping off whenever. Like,
I cannot wait to see Denzel on a Marvel press tour, though. That's going to be fucking incredible.
Yeah, because
forget about him being in the movie. I want to see him in the press tour.
I want to know what he steals from the set because he's going to be leaving there with
everything.
That's my thing.
I'm leaving.
What's he grabbing?
Oh, he left with everything that he wore in Gladiator 2. I bet you he left with every single piece of wardrobe that was his. The ring.
He got that Louis cape from the ending hanging up right now.
Oh, you see him on screen? He was enjoying wearing that shit. He was all like, "There."
That's got to be the plot of the movie. Like, how much vibranium is Denzel gonna walk away with? That's the thing.
All of it.
Because he's walking away
not
with
even a question.
Love him.
So good. Oh my God. I can't wait for Black Panther 3 because of that now.
I want him to be a bad guy. After seeing how much fun he was having as a bad guy in Gladiator, I want him to be a bad guy. Please.
It's gotta be. All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much for chatting with us, talking Marvel and it's packed 2025 slate. We're going to go around the horn, let the people know where they can find you and what you got coming up on your respective platforms. Start with our guest, Ren Geekness. Where can the people find you and what you got coming up?
Thank you so much for having me. You can find me everywhere on Letterboxd, Twitter, YouTube at Ren Geekness. Just have this week I put up my reviews for Wicked and for Moana 2. I have still a lot of reviews to catch up from festivals, but I will soon be having my review for Conclave, as well as my review for The Order, which is a film that is not out yet, but you should keep an eye out on it because it's the movie that's going to tell you how good Nicholas Hoult is going to be as Lex Luthor.
Oh, and I just saw him in Nosferatu, and I'm like,
he plays a neo-Nazi in The Order, so
lovely.
Can't wait to see that one. Mike, let the people know where they can find you. What you got coming up, my friend?
Yeah, you guys can find me at the Novice Cinephile on social media, Threads, Blue Sky. I got to figure out the new ones now. It's not X. I know that for sure. I deactivated there. You can find my work at collider.com as well. I'm going to be reviewing the last season of The Dragon Prince over there and probably revisiting Superman and Lois because that finale is this week and I'm heartbroken. But yeah, you can also, again, find my work on TikTok and YouTube, Novice Cinephile. We're going to have some more videos going up there because finally got time to write scripts, so more video essays coming in the future.
There we go, man. That Dragon Prince, I'm hearing great things about that, but Superman and Lois, why does it have to end, dude?
The CW just ended. It's crazy.
I have beef with James Gunn now because it's like, what? They had a 10-season run planned out, and he's just like, Superman Legacy. It's like,
10 seasons?
Yeah, they had a roadmap and they said, well, we just jumped a few seasons.
Oh.
So like the death of Superman was supposed to probably be like season 8, season 9.
James Gunn probably turned on one episode and was focused on the kids and was like, I want to kill this show immediately.
He said them damn twins too annoying.
Damian Wayne is the only kid in DC he likes. That's it. Everyone else gone.
He likes the worst kid in DC.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love it.
Cliff,
by the way, sorry to jump in again, but Mike just plugged the final season of The Dragon Prince. I've seen the first 3 episodes of Skeleton Crew, so that review is also coming this week.
Nice.
Stay tuned. Cliff, let us know, man. Where can the people find you? What you got coming up?
Yeah, you can find me at Cliff and La La Land on Twitter and Blue Sky. Follow me there because I do actually have some things coming out next month. My Nora review is finally dropping under a whole new YouTube name as well. It's some exciting stuff is coming. If you're a comic book fan, I got a video for the new G.I. Joe series that just started, Justice League Unlimited. I'm probably gonna do a review for that as well and whatnot. Ooh. So I got some things cooking.
Man is in the kitchen right now. Okay. You cooking.
silently get put in work essentially.
Man, let us know when you drop the videos, brother. We'll be there to support.
Yeah. It'll be a
Alright,
Christmas
y'all.
gift. I'm on my Yaya tip essentially.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
And of course, if you guys are on Geekly Goods, if you're new, welcome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Support the channel. Support this stream. We'll be back not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that with another superhero-focused topic. And then here on the channel, got my Moana 2 review to still get out. So the Moana 2 is coming up. Coverage for the Superman and Lois finale. And continued coverage for Cobra Kai and Marvel. So, of course, come on back to the channel and come back. Not this next Saturday, but the Saturday after that for more superhero topics. And we'll see you guys next time on Geekly Goods and the Chatter After. See you guys.